Address Ohio State's offense, the way that they've really come along this year with the new quarterback and the concerns that you guys will have on that side of the ball?
I just feel like they're trying, each game they're trying to mesh and get, some consistency going. They're building each game. They do a really good job of like simplicity for the receivers and the quarterbacks reads, but they do a lot of motion adjustments to get defenses off of what they're trying to do and get them out of get them into certain checks to manipulate them and get guys freed up like Marvin Harrison in the slot, a lot of guys in Buka, and they got some talented running backs. But, obviously we got to do what we need to do to be able to take care of them. So.
And expand on Marvin Harrison Jr., just memories, what you recall from last year and what you guys have seen on tape and his growth since.
Obviously his speed is increasing. His catch radius is crazy. He's very, talented athlete, so we're gonna have to do a big job of knowing where 18 is all the time and just be able to give confidence to our corners or whoever's over there covering him.
On the road, especially in a place like Ohio State that has over 100,000 fans there. As a safety, I know that group, along with the linebackers, are often a lot of calls on defense. How do you adjust with crowd noise on the road?
It's the same as every game. You're not gonna be able to hear anything. You could be like 5 feet away from them, you can't hear them. So you have to do a lot of hand signals, and just a lot of the communication gets done on the sideline and throughout the week. So it's like you have to rely on everybody knowing what they're doing throughout the week. So they're like, okay, so there's not gonna be a lot of communication, but you're gonna have some when you're out there. But a lot of time, the noise, you just have to have hand signals for those.
Heather.
What's the balance of, as Locks talks about, kind of the nameless and faceless opponents, but also knowing that this is, one of the top teams that you're going up against and someone you're probably measuring yourself against?
Him saying that is so we don't get too high or too low, you know what I'm saying? Like, over the years, it's always like, oh, we got O State coming up, or we got the big three, they say, Michigan, Penn State. So there's no anxiety or anything like that. It's like, we're not going to change anything that we're doing just because we're playing the Blue Bloods of, college football. But obviously, knowing the big challenge we got ahead of us, that balance is coming to so people need to be locked in. But he just keeps us grounded by saying that statement.
What do you tell younger guy, or just what kind of vibe do you get from maybe younger guys who are trying to make that bounce when you kind of been through it before?
So I kind of mess with them. I'm like, how you gonna do when you see 100K fans? Eyes gonna get big, and I just mess with them a little bit. But that's like, just stay in the moment. You're blessed to be there. That's about it. But players gotta play. You gotta be ready to go. Young, old, but you get on that field, you better be ready to go.
What do they say when you do that?
They just laugh and like, yeah, I'm gonna be ready. But that's every freshman or younger player would say so.
You guys have been great You've been great at forcing turnovers this year. What's been the key to that, and how can you continue it against Ohio State?
Just emphasizing it throughout the week. Turnovers is big for, obviously the offense, because when you get turnovers for offense, they score a lot. But there's not anything that you can do other than your job just to get turnovers. It just swings that way. Like last year, we struggled with turnovers, but that doesn't mean we weren't trying to get turnovers. Like, coach emphasizes get turnovers. Like, coach was trying to get turnovers, but we just got a little more luck on this draw. But going into this game, some turnovers are going to be needed to obviously give offense more time to get the ball, because it's going to be a little possession battle this game. So we need to enforce takeaways this week.
Hey, Dante. So Locks talked about the biggest difference between this year's team and years past has really been that player-driven leadership. To what extent have you noticed that?
From off-season training, the way we coach a lot of things up. When I came in my freshman year, you couldn't say anything to anybody without them getting personal or anything. There was just like little hierarchy, accountability wasn't horizontal, and we kind of preached that over this year. So going into off-season training, make sure everybody's on time, wearing the right things, being able to coach some stuff, have them tough conversations, and even, having those arguments so it'll prepare you for the season. It's like, you ain't finishing, you ain't doing this, and it may, rile up everybody. But as we built from the off-season to now, we're able to, have that family camaraderie. Is that we went through a lot, we went through the storm, and now I can trust you. I know the type of guy you are. We had these hard conversations. So now, coaches don't even have to say anything. Players can get on players without it blowing up or having fights. So we handle a lot of stuff on our own.
having faced Stroud last year as Ohio State's quarterback and then McCord this year, just from what you've seen on tape so far, how do those two compare? How are you looking forward to that challenge?
I mean, how they compare, I mean, they both played Ohio State, but a little different in terms of, like, I would say experience. Obviously, you know, Stroud was well developed by the time we played him, and he was, you know, a really tough challenge. You had to do a lot of things to get him off of his tracks, but, you know, this quarterback we're going to be facing, you know, he has a lot of potential. He can make the reads. He knows it. He knows the receiver. So, but I wouldn't say, you know, nothing crazy different, but obviously they just play quarterback at Ohio State.
Dante, concerning the opponent, the records going into this game, the stage of where you guys are, is this a game of litmus test for this program?
You say that again? Sorry.
Is this game a litmus test for this program?
I mean, I don't want to get too, like, you know, big on that, but I just feel like this next game for us. You know, both undefeated for us. This will be a big challenge, but I don't want to put this game too bigger on the other ones. We always say this is the biggest one because it's the next one, but that's all I'll say on that.
Anything else for Dante?